Yo, what is good guys? Back here with another YouTube video, and in case you cannot tell by the title below, this video will be a video where I share my thoughts and opinions on someone or something going on in this wacky weird world called professional wrestling. As you can tell by the title below, this video will be a video where I share my thoughts and opinions on Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, however you prefer to know him as. And before I share my thoughts and opinions on him, would love to know what your thoughts are on Johnny Gargano down in the comments below. While you are down there, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, turn on post notification. Don't have to, obviously, if you don't want to, but it would mean a lot to myself if you did. And when it comes to Johnny Wrestling, he is one of those guys where, don't get me wrong, he's good in the ring, he's entertaining on the mic, but I like him more because of the story, but more so because I was able to meet him a couple of times. Every single time, he was a nice person, kind of deal and whatnot, but either way, like I said, really good wrestler. His nickname is Johnny Wrestling for a reason. And for myself personally, he's good on the mic, he's funny, he's entertaining, kind of deal. Just watch him a part of the way during his time, last couple of months or a year or whatnot, in NXT back in like 2020, 2021 time period and whatnot. If you've never seen him really be entertaining on the mic, kind of deal and whatnot. But like I said, like I like him because he's, in my opinion, entertaining at both wrestling, like bell to bell, and on the mic. But I've been able to meet him a couple of times over, kind of deal, twice sitting front row at two separate NXT house shows, kind of deal. And then third one, just so happened to share a hotel, not like we stayed at the same hotel together, seen him, asked for a pic and Candace, and they both said yes, took photos, kind of deal, and whatnot. And every single time, super nice, super friendly, not only to myself, but to like other people when he didn't really have to. For an example, the hotel situation, he could have said, no, it's freaking SummerSlam weekend, I want some time off. He just had a really, to me being there live, fun 2 out of 3 falls match where he ended up losing the third fall, but him and Adam Cole fell from the top of the steel cage through a table. And granted, I met him after SummerSlam, kind of deal, but he could have just said no and either sold the injuries or said over exaggerate the injuries, or just say like, no, I'm really banged up, I want to go to my room and rest, kind of deal. And I don't think people would have a problem with it. I wouldn't have a problem with it because, one, totally understandable, kind of deal, like falling in general, freaking scary, let alone from the top of the steel cage. But he's one of those guys, like, he was not necessarily the first independent wrestler, but he was one of the first independent wrestlers that I've seen. I don't want to say as a nobody, but Smash Wrestling, Toronto-based independent wrestling company that started in 2011, 2012 time period. He would come up to Toronto quite a bit, and that's how I heard about him. And he was the first one to, for myself personally, see, kind of sort of somewhat see, him kind of going from this indie guy to this relatively big name in wrestling, kind of deal. He was super popular, if you follow NXT, arguably top 3, even number 1 for most popular good guys in NXT history, kind of deal. And for myself, I will have a soft spot in my cold Canadian heart because of that, because of the experience I've met him for and whatnot. And he did, I don't know for sure how long he's been wrestling for off the top of my head, but let's say he's been wrestling 15 years, and it still to this day seems like he's a fan of wrestling, kind of deal, which I don't really see a lot in wrestling, kind of deal. Once you hit a certain point, if you're professional, you kind of that, I don't want to say that passion, but like that fandom kind of slowly but surely kind of goes away, so to speak. And to him, from what I've seen online, kind of deal. Like in interviews, him on social media, whatever the case might be, he seems to really still like watching wrestling as well as wrestling, kind of deal. And he's one of those guys where if somebody who's never met a wrestler came up to me and said, hey, who are some like wrestlers I should meet as like the first wrestlers to meet, Johnny Gargano and Dalton Castle, top two, kind of deal. And honestly, as much of like a fan, a mark supporter I am of Dalton Castle, I would say Johnny Gargano, kind of deal, especially when you do the traditional route, like a meet and greet kind of deal, getting close enough to the guardrail, whatever the case might be, kind of deal. Like, and if, let's say, like you met him at a WWE show or at a wrestling show kind of deal, and you explain it to him, he would, I would assume, just again based off my interactions, seem to really appreciate that kind of deal. But overall, yeah, I'm a fan of Johnny Wrestling, not necessarily the biggest in comparison to other people. I have some of his merch. I got his first WWE t-shirt hung up, signed by him and Candice LeRae, kind of deal. And then at the same event I bought that and got it signed, I bought another one where I could wear it around, kind of deal and whatnot. But either way, overall, not necessarily the biggest fan, supporter, mark, but I would consider myself a fan or supporter or a mark, just not the biggest one, kind of deal and whatnot. But either way, that's it for today's, or at least this video. Hope you guys hit the like, subscribe, turn on post notification. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it would mean a lot to myself if you did. More importantly, hope you guys are doing okay mentally, emotionally, and physically.
The world that we tend to make up is nothing but a fantasy until you wake up. I feel like I'm just lying to myself, yeah. Cause I just crossed the line like I'm playing offside. Do it how I want and I'ma do it till I die. Feel like I'm just lying to myself, but it's